away, bitch. Don't come over here. Karen, call the cops. Call the... It's all these kids in here. Call the cops, you dumb bitch. He coming around the window. Go that way, Cameron. Yeah, bitch, go away, bye. Go away, bye. Yep, bye. Bye. Keon out here.
First, because dogs can definitely...
Man.
And how long this...
Since the 4th. Well, how long this been... It's burnt down. How long this burnt down? Lewis burnt down like 5 years ago. Some shit, probably longer than that. But you see what I'm saying? The entrance that I could get into?
Yeah.
But we ain't got no pop lock.
And then there go a window.
Definitely windows, but... See, I'm telling you what happened. He got in here before they boarded everything up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's...
There go boards right there.
They took and moved the boards when the cops came. They moved the boards and sealed the whole school up because it was homeless people living in here too. Even if they search this whole building, you still can look, bro. They ain't. I don't care what nobody say. That shit is weird. This the only way we could get in. This the only way we could get in. But you definitely can't get in because you hear that shit? Kaida! Kaida! That's what I will tell you. I would tell you that there's 3 people involved. I would tell you that one person has dreadlocks. I would tell you that the job does know what something is going on with it. I will tell you that my niece got in a car to sit with the parties, and it wound up being a drive-off situation into an argument. It is not sexually that's involved.
What does it mean when a murder case doesn't just unfold in detective squad rooms and crime labs, but simultaneously on our phone screens? When the final, tragic act is not just discovered, but predicted by a chorus of online voices, one of whom might have known the truth all along. This is the story of Kada Scott, a 23-year-old woman whose life was brutally cut short. But it is also the story of the digital ghost she left behind, a trail of text messages, social media lives, and a single, anonymous tip that seemed to come from someone with a guilty conscience. We will piece together the official timeline and the underground narrative that ran parallel to it, asking one haunting question: how many people knew Kada Scott's fate before her body was ever found? And to our True Crime Unraveled family on YouTube and True Crime Unraveled TV on Facebook and TikTok, we see you. We read every single comment, and your engagement is what drives us to dig deeper. Keep the theories coming. To understand the tragedy, you must first understand the life. Kada Scott wasn't just a victim. She was a whirlwind of ambition and creativity. A recent Penn State graduate, she had already built a vibrant, multifaceted life. By day, she was a dedicated nursing assistant at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill Senior Home, a job she'd just started to help pay her way. But that was just one facet. Online, she was a rising influencer, a fashion enthusiast with her own line, a fitness motivator, a pageant competitor with a title of Miss Philadelphia Township to her name. Her social media was a mosaic of a young woman in motion, cute bow bags, stylish outfits, picnics in the park, and dreams she was actively building. She was, by all accounts, a go-getter. Friends and family described her as kind, introverted, and fiercely focused. She had a boyfriend. She had a future. But in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, a shadow fell over this bright picture. Kada confided in those close to her that she was being harassed by an unknown caller. The digital world, once her platform for connection, was beginning to feel like a hunting ground. The timeline of October 4th, 2025 is a clock ticking down to a point of no return. Kada arrived for her 10 p.m. overnight shift at the senior home. But her mind seemed elsewhere. A coworker would later report hearing her sound upset on the phone. Unbeknownst to that coworker, Kada's phone was lighting up with a barrage of calls, a dozen of them from a new number. That number was later linked to 21-year-old Keon King. The text messages, later revealed in court documents, paint a disturbing picture. Keon texted, letting her know he had a new number. When Kada asked who it was, he replied simply, Kel. They made plans to meet. Then, a message from Kada that reads like a chilling, offhand remark, but now carries the weight of prophecy. Kidnap me again. Keon's reply was cryptic. Better be up to. Their final exchange happened at 10:09 p.m. Kada's last known words were, call me when you arrive. Just minutes later, Kada left her workplace, abandoning her own car in the parking lot. She got into a 2008 Hyundai, a vehicle police would later determine was stolen. Cell phone data places both Kada and Keon at the Aubrey Recreation Center's parking lot that night. Authorities now believe Kada Scott was killed within 20 to 30 minutes of her disappearance. She had stepped out for a meeting and vanished into the night, leaving behind a digital breadcrumb trail that ended abruptly. The following days were a frantic blur of worry. Kada's family, knowing her dependable nature, knew something was terribly wrong. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Her vibrant social media feeds fell silent. Flyers were stapled to poles. The community rallied. Police launched a massive search, focusing on the large, wooded Aubrey Arboretum near the rec center. Academy classes were brought in. Canine units scoured the area. But they found nothing. The case was escalating, and due to its complex nature, it was reassigned to the homicide unit, a move meant to bring the most experienced investigators to the forefront. The breakthrough came from the very thing that connected Kada and her killer, their phones. Digital evidence led investigators directly to Keon King. On October 14th, Keon King turned himself into police. He was charged with kidnapping. In a press conference, authorities revealed his disturbing pattern. He had a prior kidnapping charge from earlier in 2025 involving another woman, which had been dismissed. They pleaded with the public to find his car, a 1999 metallic gold Toyota Camry with heavy front-end damage. The official narrative was now one of a kidnapping, but the public narrative was about to explode. While the police were building a legal case, the online world was conducting its own investigation, and it was uncovering a web of social connections that seemed to point toward the truth. First, there was Gabby. In a video she posted to clear her name, Gabby, a college student in Maryland, explained her connection. She knew Keon King casually as her local pharmacist. Crucially, she revealed that days before Kada vanished, Keon had called her. In a 29-second conversation, he asked one specific question. Do you know Kada Scott? And confirmed that Kada lived near her. Gabby thought little of it. When Kada was reported missing, Gabby said she called Keon on October 9th to tell him the news. His response was to hang up after 2 minutes. The drama intensified when Gabby's best friend began pressuring her to go to the police. Gabby refused, citing her personal principle of not being a cop caller. This led to a very public fallout, with a best friend going live on social media, dragging Gabby into the spotlight and accusing her of knowing more. Then, the bombshell. Private text messages between Gabby and this friend were leaked online. In them, the friend states, as a matter of fact, that Kada is missing and dead. The terrifying precision of this statement lies in its timing. This text was sent before the police had publicly announced they had found Kada's remains. This wasn't a theory. It was stated as a fact. The question became unavoidable. How did they know? Simultaneously, Kada's aunt, a woman known online as Aunt Bree, was sharing her own visions. She went live, predicting details that seemed outlandish at the time, that Kada was near an abandoned school, that there were 3 people involved, and that a jealous female was part of the story. The online echo chamber was now buzzing with a narrative that was, piece by piece, assembling a truth the police had yet to confirm. For 4 days after Keon's arrest, the search for Kada continued. Then, on October 18th, the phone rang at the Philadelphia Police Department. The tip was anonymous. It was short, it was specific, and it was devastating. The caller did not give a name. They simply said, go back. They missed her. They told police to return to the area around the abandoned Ada Lewis Middle School, a location not far from the arboretum they had searched days earlier. Acting on this tip, investigators descended on the school. This time, they knew exactly where to look. There, on the grounds of the vacant school, they found the body of Kada Scott. The discovery was a gut punch to a community holding on to hope. The Philadelphia Police Commissioner, Kevin Bethel, would later state, "Recovering Kada's body was not the outcome we hoped for, but we are grateful that we were able to bring her home." The official cause of death was ruled a homicide. The anonymous tip changed everything. It brought a tragic closure to the search. But it also raised an even darker question. Who was the caller? Was it a random citizen who stumbled upon the scene? Or was it someone involved, directly or indirectly, who was burdened by a guilty conscience? The specificity of the message, "They missed her," suggested a knowledge of the initial search and of the body's placement. With Kada's body found, the case against Keon King transformed from a kidnapping to a murder investigation. The charges piled up, painting a picture of a brutal and calculated crime. Keon King was now facing a total of about 20 charges, including murder, abuse of a corpse, arson for the intentional burning of the stolen Hyundai used in the crime, stalking, robbery. Police revealed that surveillance video from the rec center showed 2 people arriving in Keon's vehicle. Hours later, it captured 2 suspects removing what was believed to be a body from the car. Commissioner Bethel vowed, "We continue to pursue anyone who helped, who concealed, who participated in this act. We will not stop." The investigation was and remains active. The community's grief transformed into a memorial at the site of her discovery. Flowers piled up outside the Ada Lewis Middle School. A life of vibrant potential was now remembered at a place of tragedy and loss. So, where does this leave us? We have a prime suspect in custody, facing a mountain of evidence. But the threads of this story remain frayed. Who was the second person in the surveillance video? Who made that anonymous, knowing tip? How did Gabby's best friend have information about Kada's death before it was public? Was it a deduction, or did it come from a source closer to the crime? And what of Aunt Bree's visions? Coincidence? Or was she picking up on the same whispers of truth that were circulating in the community and online? The digital ghost of Kada Scott ensured her story was not forgotten. It brought together a community, it pressured an investigation, and it may have even delivered the tip that finally brought her home. But it also left behind a digital crime scene, full of its own clues and its own unanswered questions. We want to hear from you, the true crime Unravelled community. What is your theory on the anonymous tipster? Who do you think the second suspect is? Do you believe the online drama was a distraction, or did it play a crucial role in this case? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If this detailed investigation into the life and death of Kada Scott held your attention, please help us spread the word. Like this video, share it with someone who follows true crime, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the cases that grip the nation. This is True Crime Unravelled. We remember Kada Scott.
Gabby is best friends with Keon. Keon is the perp. Gabby is best friends with him. So everybody's like, Breezy, you was right. It was a light-skinned girl vibe, because what happened was, when I see my vision, it's 2 girls. They have on blue t-shirts. And one is light-skinned, high yellow, with 2 braids in her head. And she looks at me, and it's a little girl. She's not as light as her, but she was in the light. She's like my complexion. So she turns her head. So I'm like, they was demonic though. So I'm like, why is they looking at me like this? But this is a vision, like right here. So I've been saying this a long time as well. And then next thing you know, Gabby comes up. Now, Gabby is the girl that they went down Southwest Philadelphia to the house because of Kata phone pinged in the park. Once it pinged in the park, it pinged to Southwest Philadelphia. So the house that they pinged it to was where Gabriella was at. So Gabriella said she didn't know Kata. Then she lied and said she did know Kata because she was getting pressured. So next thing you know, the phone was pinged back. Oh, fuck, another thing Lord just came. She was pinged back. Thank you, Spirit. I love you, Spirit. I swear I love my tribe and my ancestors for what they do. All right, so that was a moment. So whatever the case is, she was pinged back to the phone in the area of Ada Lewis School. It was pinged back to Ada Lewis School based upon that's where they originally was at when she showed me that she was there. So when that call said help, she was letting me know I was close. She was letting me know, like, you here, Breezy, Aunt Breezy, whatever the fuck you want to say. All right, baby, I'm sorry. She was like, it was like she was here. So next thing you know, after that happened, everybody was like, we need to go to the, you know, certain places. So as I'm watching the news, I'm like, wait, white van. I'm like, oh, that go the white truck I was talking about. His car, the gray car was sitting across the street, and they go the white truck. Somebody found his Instagram, same car before it got crashed up. So we know it's him. Moving along, not to bounce all over the place. So Gabby is best friends with him. Now, it was a little girl on TikTok that everybody brought to my attention when she was talking about him and how she knew him. Now, her best friend is the girl who gave me the info. And she lied to me because she didn't know. She told me she didn't know him before. But apparently the girl was on there talking about Kada, how she walks her dog and, you know, things like that. And they, you know, all above. So that's stalker. That's a stalker. I said she was jealous. I said she was having fucking Keon. I said, and she knew what Keon was about to do to Kada because Keon asked her, hush, because Keon asked her, where do Kada live at? Where does she work at? And all the above. Now, he knew Kada already. It's not a mystery he didn't know Kada. He definitely knows Kada. I want y'all to understand, it was never that he was a stranger to Kada. He knew Kada. He knew who Kada was as a person. Kada knew him as a person. But it was not supposed to go to this level because Kada was not in a relationship with him. She was in a relationship with somebody else. Please, you is not getting up here. She was in a relationship with somebody else. So with that being said, as she was in a relationship with somebody else, let me give you the downloads because I don't want to be all over the place. And my downloads, that's what they do. All right, so earlier we was talking about it. The girl that gave me the jewels, she told her best friend that was talking about Kada on live, she needs to call the police and tell the police what she knows. The girl was like, I'm not telling anybody anything. So apparently the girl said that Keon told Gabby that what he did with Kada, and don't tell nobody where Kada was, me asking about where Kada at and where she live at and where she work at. Because Kim didn't play that, nobody knowing where she lived at. So that's how I know for a fact he didn't know where she lived at. So the girl told, and Gabby promised not to say nothing about what he did to Kada. So Gabby goes to school in Maryland. So the girl was talking about that. Y'all had to go see her live with the TikTok. Some people saved it. I don't know. Hey. Hold on. Khalil. Because you acting up today, mama. Yeah, you. So update on my niece, Kada Scott. Y'all know I'm spiritual. Y'all know I'm a two-headed doctor. Treater, seer, all above. To give you an update, of course, this particular case that I solve unsolved cases all the time before it's authorities, the news, things of that sort, and people revert back to my page like, oh my gosh, you were right, da-da-da-da. Update on my niece. I don't want to say too many things that I know what is happening right now based out of respect for the family. For me, I understand more better because of who I am and how I carry in the spirit world, things of that sort. I will tell you this. My niece is still in the area of between the job and the park. That's what I will tell you. I will tell you that there's 3 people involved. I will tell you that one person has dreadlocks. I will tell you that the job does know what something is going on with it. I will tell you that my niece got in a car to sit with the parties, and it wound up being a drive-off situation into an argument. It is not sexually that's involved. It is a lot of, assault and things of that sort, and, that led to, it's a transition situation. So, that's the update. So if you ever want to have updates on what's going on with my niece or my son's cousin, then, yeah. Here's my page. And we will find Kada. And her spirit is very strong. And, continue to pray for the family. I shield my son and protect my son and allow spirit to do what it does. I will elaborate on this more once the case is resolved because I feel like it's more appropriate. But that's just enough for now. Ashay?
Hi, my name is Gabby, and I'm going to be discussing some of the misinformations that are going around in the internet regarding me and the Kada Scott situation. So if you are unaware, Kada Scott is a girl that went missing in Philadelphia on October 4th. So I did know Keon. He was my friend. I met him about 4 or 5 years ago, and he was also the local pharmacist. Now, me and my best friend, we were also mutual friends with Keon. He was our pharmacist. So one day Keon calls me, and keep in mind, I am in school, I am in Maryland, and he will usually just call me, just to check up and talk. So he calls me and he asks me if I know Kada. And I'm like, yeah, I know Kada. And he's like, oh yeah, I noticed that she lives really close to you. I'm like, yeah, she lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking nothing of it because he usually calls me and, we just be chatting. He'll call me about the people that be around because he is the pharmacist. I live in the neighborhood and he be in my neighborhood. So we hang up the phone and that was that. We were only on the phone for 29 seconds. So you can see that this is the day that he called me and this was before Kada went missing. And we were only on the phone for 29 seconds. Also, I know that his name says Elliot in my phone. That's just what we call him. So a couple of days after that, my best friend calls me and, we're just talking about life. And I mentioned to her how Keon brought up Kada to me. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh yeah, he was probably trying to flirt with her. He's probably trying to get at her. Mind you, me and my best friend, we know Kada because we grew up with her little sister. Now, we didn't know Kada personally because, again, we grew up with her little sister. We were around 12, 11 years old. Kada, she was much older than us, so we didn't really talk to her. So my best friend was like, oh yeah, he probably thought she was cute, and that was that. So right here is the day that I called my best friend and told her that, Keon was trying to get at Kada. This is before she went missing. So a couple days, maybe a week after that, it is reported on October 4th that Kada is missing. So keep in mind, I am in Maryland, so I'm not really into all the Philadelphia news that be going on. So I'm not knowing that Kada is missing until my best friend sends me a text and says that Kada is missing. So this is the day that my best friend tells me that Kada is missing on October 9th. So I'm in my friend's dorm and I call Keon and it's a lot of music and a lot going on in the background. So I go somewhere that's quiet and I tell him, Keon, Kada is missing. That girl, she's missing. So he was like, what? And then after that, the phone just hung up. So here you can see that I called Keon and we were on the phone for 2 minutes. So you have to keep in mind, this was my friend, okay? I did not think that he could be capable of anything like this. In my head, I'm just thinking, there's no way in the world he could have did something like this. There's no way in the world. So then a couple of days after that, my mom sends me a screenshot of Keon turning himself in for the kidnapping of Kada. So this is my mom sending me the article, and she was distraught to say the least. And I know she said that he was a random person, but she says this about all my friends. So me and my best friend, we get on the phone and we're talking about the situation. We're just saying how this is just crazy. This is the call of me and her talking about it. Now, this is all happening around the time that I'm taking my midterms. So I'm really just trying to keep my head on the books. And I wasn't really trying to let this stress me out. So I kind of just let it go. He turned himself in. It's not really much to say or do anymore. So a couple of days after that, me and my best friend get on the phone and we're basically just, talking about the Kada situation. And she says that she thinks that I should call the cops. So she was basically saying that she thinks that I should call the cops and tell them that Keon was, asking about Kada. Now, at the time in my head, I'm thinking that there was no reason to call the cops. He already turned himself in. And I felt like it would be kind of a waste of time to tell them that the guy that they already have in custody, called me and was asking about the girl. And me personally, I'm not a cop caller. I don't call the cops. That's just the way that I grew up. That's what I was around. They will always tell me, you don't call the cops. So I just felt like, the information that I had and the fact that, I'm just not really a cop caller, it wouldn't make sense for me to call the cops. So then my best friend tells me, well, if you won't call the cops and tell them, then I will. And then she basically tells me that she doesn't want to be friends with me anymore because I won't call the cops. And I told her, you know, that's completely fine. I just don't want any involvement. So then we hung up the phone, and then I believe she called me again with the police on the other line. So you can see, I told her, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to the cops. And yeah. Now, I can see how this could be cruel, and I do take accountability for that. So then a couple of days later after that, I get sent a link on Instagram. And the link was basically my best friend going live, just talking about the situation, saying how I was weird for not going to the cops. And people in the comments were just coming up with their own narratives about the story. And it just got way out of hand, and it just spiraled. So you can see somebody sent me the link of the live, and still to this day, I have not watched the full entire live. Then people just started asking, you know, who is Gabby? What's the connection? And, you know, she told people that I was in Maryland for school, and it was just a whole entire thing. So, of course, I was angry and I was confused because what is going on? So I text her. I tell her that, you know, that was weird. And yeah. Then I started seeing posts of people saying that they think that I set Kada up, and that why wouldn't I go to the cops, and that I was just suspicious and all of this stuff. And this was never the case. So I do end up contacting the authorities after I seen people just making up crazy stuff about me and the situation. They cut me off. They tell me that they already know what's going on, you know, that they have a close eye on the social media. And they also tell me that my friend did come forth with the information, and they told her that there was nothing that they can do, that the information that she bought them was useless information because they already had Keon in custody, and it was just nothing for them to do with this information. They told me to contact them only if I had anything that could lead to finding Kada, because that is their main priority. Now, I do believe that the person in the live was just kind of taking what I told her and running with it and just spicing it up to make it seem like something that it wasn't, for, I don't know, maybe views. People were saying that, you know, she was walking around and showing what stores Kada would go to, where she would walk her dog, and just stuff like that. I also had one of our mutual friends come to me, and he told me that she told him that we knew Kada our whole lives and like we grew up with her, which wasn't the case because we grew up with her little sister. Now, I do think that the person in the live was taking what I told them and kind of just running with it and spicing it up to make it seem like it was way bigger than what it was. And I basically think this because I had a mutual friend that came to me and said that she came to them and told them that we knew Kada our whole life and that we grew up with Kada, when that wasn't the case. We grew up with her little sister. My prayers go out to Kada and her family, and I hope that she can make a safe return home.
We love you. Fly higher.
Look at my balloons in front. We just going on. Oh, that has been so nice.
Wow.
But just know that this community won't just gather here just today for Kada Scott. And so thank you for letting us gather. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Say her name! Say her name! Kada Scott! Say her name! Kada Scott! Say her name!
We are saddened, God, to gather on this occasion where a precious soul was taken from us without warning.
Kada Scott!
Say her name!
Kada Scott!
This is Kada's aunt. She's the one representative from the family who was willing to come out today. You know, the family deserves the opportunity to rest. Yes. So I want to be very kind to Ms. Donna, and I want to invite Ms. Donna up here to give a few words.
On behalf of the family, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your prayers, for being a community, for holding us up, for holding us down, for your continuously searching and not giving up. Thank you, thank you, thank you just for being who we just didn't know how to be at the time. Thank you for being consistent. Thank you for not giving up. And even though this is the worst thing that we could have possibly hoped for, we were able to get our baby back.
That family shouldn't have to cook. They shouldn't have to do anything at this time. There's enough organizations out here to be able to support everything they need as they go through this tragedy. Please, I implore you to do that. All that other stuff we can work on later. We're talking about tearing down the school and all that stuff. Right now, the important thing that we can do is love on this family.
This is a human problem that all of us feel. Every single person here that is out here, I guarantee you, beyond some job that we have to fulfill to come out and be present as elected officials, this touches home. The idea that young black girls cannot be safe, even at their own workplace, in their own city, in their own town, is unacceptable.
And our job is to make sure that we keep our babies safe. And so to the family of Kada, to all who loved her, who are all impacted by her grace, by her beauty, by her love, we stand with you and know that her legacy will not be in vain.